You just want to grab Daddy's glasses, don't you? That's all you want.
When I first came out to myself, the largest sense of loss I felt was that I would never be a father. You weren't seeing a lot of gay fathers out there.
When David and his partner Alex decided to start a family, they knew they would face challenges. The birth of their 8-month-old daughter was made possible by a baby-making technology that brought together 4 people: an egg donor, a sperm donor, the donor's partner, and a gestational surrogate who carried the baby to term.
It's a beautiful thing that 2 people can come together and create a new life. I think it's an even more beautiful thing that 4 people can come together and create a new life.
The increasing availability of donor eggs and the willingness of women to carry babies that are not genetically related to them open the possibility of parenthood to couples like David and Alex.
Are you done with the carrots?
There are about 750 babies born through gestational surrogacy each year in the U.S. Most often, they successfully result in a baby for a couple who could not have one. But surrogacy laws vary from state to state, and the industry lacks any clear rules about who can obtain babies and who can be a surrogate. The process can derail into legal uncertainty and custody disputes.
Even though you might be desperate to have a baby, you got to do your research. But this can really be a rewarding practice and a rewarding, solution for a lot of people if it's done properly.
Melissa Brisman, a reproductive lawyer, helped David and his partner put together their surrogacy arrangement. Brisman runs a surrogacy agency in northern New Jersey and is intimately familiar with the practice.
I have 3 kids from gestational surrogates. My boys are 11 and a half and my daughter is 6 and a half. And, a big reason why I did this is because when I didn't have any help.
Brisman's company finds its surrogates through advertisements or phone calls.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Reproductive Possibilities. Diana speaking.
Surrogates can even apply online.
You're looking for someone who's already given birth before, who's, preferably over 21, has an uncomplicated pregnancy history, doesn't smoke, is not on any antidepressants or medications.
In states where commercial surrogacy is allowed, first-time surrogates can make around $20,000 to cover living expenses. But money, Brisman says, cannot be the driving force.
You are looking for somebody who has some altruistic motive because the fact of the matter is they have to do a lot. They have to go through an intense, drug and medical screening and criminal background checks and home studies, and all of this happens before they even get any benefit.
On the outskirts of Nashville, Tennessee, Jessica, an educator and PhD candidate, is one of those surrogates.
It's not something to go into lightly. You really need to think about it. You're giving your body to someone else for a year. And for me, it was for a good cause. It was for a good reason. But you're still turning your body over to someone else for a year.
Jessica says she was motivated by a desire to help gay couples create families.
Basically, I thought, somebody should really do something about this. And I thought, I have stretch marks. I already have the cellulite. I already have the husband. So why not? Why not do this?
But not everyone was immediately enthusiastic about Jessica's choice, including her husband and her 14-year-old son.
Honestly, I was hesitant when she first brought it up. I didn't. The whole idea of, a wife getting pregnant and carrying a baby and for someone else was just kind of weird to me at the time.
Though Jessica posted her surrogacy ads online, her main concern was that the prospective parents were up to the job.
Even to bring a new life into this world is such a tremendous responsibility. And I was only willing to take part if I felt comfortable in them. And then David wrote me. And there was just something about his email. We just fell in love with each other.
People often describe surrogacy as a courtship between strangers who tease out intentions as they build a relationship.
Whether you like it or not, for 9 months you have to give all of your trust over to this person. It's commonplace that we would do a background check on the surrogate. She was the first potential surrogate we talked to who asked if she could do a background check on us. And I thought, God, why didn't anyone else think of that? They're doing this for 9 months. Of course they should care what kind of a house they're bringing this child into.
But even with the best of intentions, sometimes relationships fall apart. When that happens, everyone ends up in family court, like this case in Michigan.
So you're in agreement with giving guardianship to the Kehoes? Okay.
Unable to have a baby of her own, Amy Kehoe used the internet to arrange a surrogacy with donor eggs, donor sperm, and a gestational carrier. That carrier was Lachelle Baker, a married mother of 4 who had carried 3 previous surrogacy babies. She gave birth to twins for the Kehoes in July.
Ms. Baker, I understand that you're good friends of the Kehoes, is that right?
Yeah, we've known each other for, well, almost 2 years.
Okay. Have you been to their home?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
Okay. But you're satisfied that they would be capable and good parents to these children?
From what I have observed, they love these babies very much.
But during the court hearing to transfer guardianship from Baker to Kehoe, the judge raised questions about Kehoe's arrest record and medical history.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes, I have. I had a lot of challenges mentally as far as psychiatric disorder.
I am satisfied that Amy and Scott Kehoe would be appropriate individuals to serve as the limited guardians. I will qualify that with the requirement that you continue with your psychiatric treatment. Congratulations.
Soon after, Baker decided she had serious doubts about the Kehoes as parents. So a month later, she had their guardianship rescinded and set out to raise the twins herself. The notion of a carrier exerting parental rights is a chilling prospect for anyone involved in a surrogacy.
I didn't want more children at that point, and I still don't. But what if I get attached to the baby? Or what if I try and take the baby? Which is, a legitimate concern.
Jessica says getting through the pregnancy required some mental gymnastics and semantic tricks.
One of the techniques that I did use, I made sure that when I spoke to Dave and Alex, I would always say, your baby did this today, your baby's growing.
Both parties also made sure custody and parental rights were spelled out in their contracts.
Jessica was adamant about getting contracts in place once she was pregnant because she did not want responsibility for another child.
But the true test of the surrogacy arrangement came when the baby was born in April.
And then Alex said, do you want to hold her? And I held her, and it was like holding a friend's baby. It was, it was nice, but I was ready to give her back and go eat my lunch.
Jessica says the surrogacy went so well, she wants to do it 2 more times. But like the conflicting laws that govern them, every surrogacy arrangement has its unique challenges. And David and Alex are aware that their situation could have not had a happy ending.
We forget about that because we have the most beautiful daughter in the world. We were incredibly lucky that the human relation part of this was unbelievably, not just easy, joyful. And I'm always grateful for that.
Hey, sweetie. Did you have a nice nap?